Hi everyone, it's your girl Designer Soapbox and I am back with another video. So, I'm very excited about this video because I want to drop some gems for you all. Let's talk about how to challenge collection agencies. So, why you should challenge a collection agency is a good way to figure out, why you should challenge them. I want to give some examples on why you should challenge them and why it's the best way to take action if you have a collection with a collection agency. So, a good reason why is if your rights as a consumer has been violated by a collection agency, right? Also, if your rights has been violated by a collection agency, it can be up for removal. So you can remove this collection off your credit report by challenging them. Most collection agencies can be challenged by lack of validation. Yes, by lack of validation. Did you know? But now you know. By lack of validation, which 99% of collection agencies cannot validate your debt. Okay? If they cannot validate your debt, you can save some coins. You can save some money and you don't have to let a collection agency pimp you out your coins. We don't want that. We want great credit, but we don't want to be broke trying to pay collection agencies, and it doesn't help us in the long run because paying a collection don't always result to it being removed from your credit report. This is the number one myth, that if you pay this collection, it will be removed from your credit report. There are tactics and tricks to get this removed, and collection agencies will do their best to say that they will remove it just to get them coins, and they don't. So I am here to show you how to not get pimped out and how to be able to take control of what's on your credit report and how to challenge these collection agencies. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of things. How to challenge a collection agency. So first, I recommend if you have a collection that has just got added onto your credit report, whether you check Credit Karma, My FICO, and you see, wow, there's a collection that's added on, or whether they call you and say you have a collection, or if they sent you a letter in the mail saying that you have this collection from their company and you must pay, right? So a person that does not know much about collection agencies, they will either pay it up front, because when you think of debt, you think of a bad thing, right? You think of, oh my God, I must pay this, or I will, it's just all bad. However, this is a shady business. So what I recommend first is to request validation of debt from the collection agency, better known as a debt validation letter, okay? And this is a letter that will basically request them to validate if this debt belongs to you, right? They must have a written signature that proves that this debt is belong to you. Okay, send it certified always to make sure that you sent it, to make sure that it has been delivered, and you have proof that you sent it and it has been delivered to their address, because they will lie and they will try their best to not prove that you didn't send them anything. I'm telling you, these are shady businesses. Shady, 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 shady. Okay. Once that is done, they have 30 days, depending on your state laws, they have 30 days to respond. If they don't respond in 30 days, it's okay. You have the letter that you sent, you have it validated. Don't sign it as well. Don't sign it. Don't sign it. Then you have the certified receipt. So you have proof that you sent them a validation letter and they did not respond. File a complaint on the BBB website. Okay. Also, if they do respond, most likely they will likely respond, and they will respond with a bill. Not a contract, not a written signature of a contract, but they'll respond with a bill that usually the original creditor sold to them for pennies on the dollar, and they have this bill that basically has what they owe what you owe, and so they're trying to collect what you owe, right? That's still not validation at all. It's just a bill. It doesn't validate anything. Anybody can make a bill and say it's yours. So if that's what if that's what they call validation of debt, file a complaint too. File it on the BBB website, bbb.org, right? If you get no response from them within 14 days, then BBB will send a second request, okay, to the collection agency. If still no response, then what I recommend is you can file a Consumer Finance Protection Bureau complaint. Okay. Now, what this does is basically you'll have a lot of proof. It has more validation to back up that you are trying to, figure out who debt this is, and they have not responded. They have a lack of response, have lack of validation, right? So this is violation to my rights. You sent them a debt validation letter. They either didn't respond or they didn't send you real validation. You filed a complaint already. They didn't respond twice. So now it's time to take it up with the Consumer Finance Protection Program, which is basically like the mediator, and they just try to figure out, what's the best thing we could do. Always give them a call to action. I want this account or collection removed from my credit report immediately because they have violated my rights. You can request proof from the collection, basically their license. So most collection agencies has to be licensed in your state to collect. So say for example, ABC Collection Agency is in Iowa and you're in California. Well, just because they're in Iowa, that does not mean that they can collect debt from California. They have to be licensed to collect debt from California. So if they don't have a license number, that's also a violation of your rights. Okay? So you can also request that from them, and they must actually validate it. If no validation has been given, challenge them for removal. Challenge them, right? You see how it's going. You see how they try to. You see how they will try to manipulate you and paying them. When no, actually they're not even legally, you know, um, licensed for them to collect a debt on your behalf. So challenge them, okay? Also, if a collection calls you, you can request cease and desist, okay? Now, it is illegal for them to call you more than 2 times a day. So if they call you 2 times a day, record it. Record it, and you can give them cease and desist. After you give them cease and desist and they still call you, you can sue them for harassment, request for removal, okay? Both. Call the action, okay? Scare them, okay? The way they scare you, you scare them back, right? Um, record, record if they do call you. Save letters. So when you're sending out letters, make sure you have copies. Do not sign any letters. Again, do not sign any letters. Communicate only by mail. The reason why I say communicate only by mail is going to help prove your case when you're challenging the collection agencies. Because if you're by phone and you're negotiating them, or you may say something, that you don't want to say, they can also sue you. And you don't want, you don't just want to be in a battle on the phone. You want to battle it through mail. So if you need a third party to investigate this, you have proof, okay? Also, if you have a medical collection, if your medical records have been shared with a collection agency, okay? But let's read this again. If your medical records have been shared with a collection agency from the original creditor, you can also challenge it for violating the HIPAA law, okay? Communicate only by mail, though, and wait 30 days, okay? If no response, challenge for deletion for violating that law. Challenge them. Check your state laws. Check your state laws as well, because HIPAA has different laws per state. So make sure you check those laws. Check your laws, okay? Make sure that you know what's going on. without paying. So I want to go over their scare tactics, right? So I talked about how to, scare them. So let's talk about how they probably will scare you. And these are just the common ones, but don't let that go over your head, okay? So, first, I would recommend you learn the statutes of the limitation laws by your state first on collecting debt. So, this kind of gives you what they can do on how to collect debt and what they can't do on how to collect debt, right? So, then you can challenge them. Hey, look, this is my laws by my state, and you're violating it, right? Request for removal, challenge them for removal. Likely, if you challenge them for removal, and it's so funny because you challenge them to validate the debt, they still don't do it. You challenge them for the license, they still don't do it. And then they respond, we're going to sue you and threaten you to go to civil court. How can you do that when you have no proof of nothing, right? So don't let that scare you, okay? They're going to try their best to scare you. If you know the laws, you will be okay. Okay, if you got the proof and you saved all those records of communication, you'll be okay. You got the proof, okay? They will also send you demand letters to pay. So, you must pay this by this. If you don't pay, we're going to, sue you or garnish your wages, which check your state laws. They can't do that either, stuff like that. So don't let them, manipulate you and connive you into paying. Don't let it do it. Debt collectors can be very conniving and straight up thieves. They can be thieves, okay? So when you're speaking to them, don't give them no information where you work at, where address and name is okay, but not where you work at, your bank information, your family information, your signature. Don't give them nothing. They're straight up thieves. They'll find a way, depending on which debt collectors there is. If they have a reputation, and they want to keep that reputation, uh, they will give up. Okay, and they will say, we're going to remove it. This person is no dummy. We're going to remove it, and we're going to go, prey on the next person that does not know the law, because they prey on the weak and the uninformed. I'm telling you guys, don't do it. Remember, they were sold pennies on the dollar for your debt, right? So this is basically the credit game. Okay, if you do have the debt with the original creditor and it has been defaulted and you have missed, usually it's after 4 to 5 late payments. They're like, okay, you know what? It looks like you're not paying. We're going to default this and place this for a collection. Usually, the original creditor will send you a letter saying it will be placed for a collection, right? So if it is placed for a collection and you really want to settle the debt, you can settle the debt then and there before it get placed on a collection, okay? It all depends on you. However, if it does get placed for a collection, then they're the original creditor is basically saying they are no longer responsible for this debt. So if they're no longer responsible, then you're no longer responsible, right? So this is why the creditor sends that bill or that uh, your contract with them to the collection agency. So if, for instance, if your collection was $15,000 in debt, then the original creditor sold it for like $100 to them. So now the collection agency is trying to get that's $15,000. So they're trying to get $14,900 in profit. You see how they're conniving and straight up thieves? And if the license don't match, the written signature don't match, if in your state they're unable to collect the debt don't match, then they're violating your rights and they're not following the laws at all. So this is why I say don't pay them, because you don't need to pay them. You're not in contract with them, especially if your collection is being sold again to another debt collector. You see the game? You see how they're trying to collect on collecting, then not collecting, and then collecting and collecting. It is, oh, it makes me sad. But however, these are the scare tactics that they make. I just want to make you guys understand how collections work and how they make their money, and how if you know how they make their money and you know the laws, then you will never get pimped out by them. So helpful tips and resources. Okay, so what I recommend is getting the Fair Credit Report Act booklet with updated laws. I will put the link in the bio where you can also download it as a PDF, but you can also request it for free, and you can get a hard copy sent to your address as well, which is always helpful. Always check your state laws and FTC, so that you just know that the laws around your states and anything that has something to do with the Federal Trade Commission. You want to know, okay? Do not sign letters to the collection agencies. I know I said this several times in this video, but I mean it. Don't sign no letters to the collection agencies. Always type your name. That's it. No signature. Like I said, they can be very sneaky and they can forge your signature. If you're asking them for validation with a written signature and you send your written signature, trust and believe they're going to try their best to get that. They're going to try their absolute best. Never admit to debt, okay? Even if it is the debt that you are aware of, never admit to it. It needs to be validated. And remember, that debt was no longer responsible for you to pay after the original creditor say, hey, I'm done with it. It's not mine, right? So you never signed a collection contract with the collection agency, right? So never admit to the debt. BBB website gives collections 14 days to respond to your complaints. Always remember that. And, you can track that. So that's a good way to keep track on things so that you can demand removal. Especially if you're trying to remove collections right away, then this is a great way to, remove them without going to the credit bureaus and having them, try to validate it. And then they say they validated, but they send you no proof of validation. It's like, I'm going to do it myself, okay? Don't pay collections. Don't pay them. Don't pay them. Don't pay them. Don't pay them. If a collection pops back up, the collection agency must notify you before it's placed back on your report, okay? A lot of people don't know this, and this has happened to people when they dispute the collections and it pop back up. Well, technically, check your laws. The collection agency must notify you before it's placed back on your report. If they don't, challenge it for removal. Check state laws for the number of days they must notify you, okay? That's a gem right there in itself. So you can always challenge it for removal. The more you know, the more it will help you guys.
Hi everyone, it's Designer Soapbox. I just wanted to make this video to guys let you know that I am having a 50% off sale for 72 hours. Yes, a 50% off sale on the 24-hour express inquiry removal guide and also the late payment removal guide. So just head down to the description or to the pinned comments and click the link and get your 50% off. Remember, this inquiry removal will help you remove hard inquiries from your credit report within 24 hours. And then the late payment guide will help you remove your late payments very fast, super fast actually. If you're tired of disputing your late payments, waiting 30 to 45 days, this is a quicker method of getting these late payments removed. So if you guys enjoyed a lot of my content, I talk about this in my videos. However, I have this in an ebook. I'm doing 50% off for you guys. If you missed the 60% off sale, I'm doing one for 50% off. So I'll see you guys in the next video, and thanks for supporting, and make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Follow me on Instagram. Check out the 24-hour income removal late payment guides and my other credit ebooks at designersoapbox.com. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.